All right. Let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakudash. How are you going to deal with that? Pretty much, this is a title that came to me. I was finishing up watching the brother Yowanathan's video about the Black Swan event that I posted in the description box on the last video I did. And he spoke about the chariots. I forget exactly what he said about him, but it just prompted that title to pop in my head, and just wanted to, jump on it, strike while the iron's hot, how we say. And pretty much, I just went online just to get a couple of articles, see what was popping, and I ran across this article here on space.com. And pretty much I didn't really go into any other sites to see if this was so. I'm just pretty much reporting on this because, the way it sounds is like 2023, the year UFOs descended on Washington, D.C., but not like you'd expect. So I was interested to find out what they would say in this, and pretty much just to put it short, to cut to the chase. Pretty much the way that they landed, on the way that they landed, so-called, in the White House is pretty much through legislation, and of course, they pretty much dismiss it, say it's fiction or whatever the case may be, how they do. But so I just started reading some of this, and it brought up other thoughts and a couple of scriptures. I just want to hit this real quick, and Lord's a little bit of an edifying lesson. It says, while UFOs came to Washington in 2023, ultimately they left the same way they came, shrouded in mystery and sensationalism. And this is what these devils do. They have to hide this stuff because this is very detrimental to them. This technology of the chariots and the angels is very detrimental to these devils, right? It says, for those who follow news related to anomalous flying objects, it says 2023 will be remembered as the year UFOs came to Washington, D.C. Not in the way we'd all like, though. No. There were no tic-tac shaped UFOs landing on the White House lawn or big black triangles hovering silently in the air above it. But they did happen back in 1952, which I pulled up an article on that. Instead, there were new bureaucratic offices and government websites created, pieces of dense legislation deliberated over, and hearings, lots of hearings. Throughout the pockets of social media that are most vocal about UFOs, many thought that this year would finally bring about disclosure, the revelation of UFO-related truth, in which the U.S. government would finally fess up and reveal what it has allegedly been covering up about unidentified physics-defying crafts and their possible occupants for at least 7 decades. So these devils have been hiding this for a long time. But disclosure didn't happen, while many sensational claims were made that would, if true, indeed bring about ontological, which is the existence of beings or something along those lines. I just looked this up. Ontological shock, which I actually just right here. It says a branch of metaphysics dealing with the nature of being. A set of, matter of fact, I just go here to simple terms, the study of existence. In other words, these different, chariots, UFOs, it would be a shock because for decades people had believed that, these things didn't exist and that the human race is the only thing that ever existed. They never thought of, well, some people knew about it because, a lot of information was coming out, but at one point the majority of the world believed that it was just humans and that was it. They didn't think about extraterrestrial beings. All right. Indeed, bring about ontological shock and a rethinking of our place in the universe. In the end, none of these was substantiated with little more than hearsays as is tradition. And there's more to this, you know, if you want, just type in 2023, the year UFOs descended on Washington, D.C., but not like you'd expect. And pretty much what I did, I just put in UFOs. And this was the first article that came up. Now, as I was reading through this article, right, thought came to my mind of an individual that made a statement of the advanced technology that the angels have with these chariots. And I went online to find it, and I found this right here. It's possible someone found us before we found them. 2 retired Navy officers warned that infamous UFO Tic Tac sighting indicates technology that outstrips our arsenal by at least 100 to 1,000 years. All right. So the technology, they're saying that, and they don't, and that's just an estimation. They're saying that in order for America and the world to deal with these beings, these crafts, you know, they would have to have 100 to 1,000 years more advanced weapons to be able to deal with these beings, right? But they're still not disclosing fully everything. But this is just showing you that these devils know, and they're nervous because they know that the chariots are there, and they've known for a long time. But back then, you know, they had more control over what, you know, information got out. Now with the invention of the internet, you know, they don't have that much control as they used to have at one time, keeping everything relegated, you know, to just their, you know, to just their, you know, getting all these calls, to their ability to hide stuff from the masses of the people. Now, back in 1952, right, this is on the History Channel. It says, in 1952, flying saucers over Washington sent the press into a frenzy. UFO reports in the Capitol airspace set headlines blaring across the nation about discs and what's its and mysterious lights. This is dated November 3rd, 2023, but this goes back, the original post was in March 11, 2019, but this goes back all the way to 1952. And this is the original, what you call it here, the Cedar Rapids Gazette, saucers swarm over Capitol. Now, this is like a little hazy, fuzzy here, so I can't really make out the date here. I think this is where the date is at. I can't really make it out, it's kind of fuzzy, you know, but this is actual things that happen. And they do have, if 1952 marked the year that UFOs fever spread across Cold War America, events in late July of that year spiked that mania to critical levels. That's when the grandfather of all saucer sightings took place in the skies above the nation's capital, causing a coast-to-coast collective jaw drop. Over several weeks, up to a dozen unexplained objects repeatedly streaked across the skies over Washington, D.C., spotted not just by crackpots, but by radar operators, professional pilots, and other highly credible witnesses. The Air Force scrambled fighter jets, but the saucers outran them around the U.S. Sci-fi-like headlines blared, rumors flew, and sightings soared. All right? When President Harry Truman, I thought it was Eisenhower, but it was actually Truman, quietly called for answers, a representative from the Air Force's secret UFO investigation team, Project Bluebeam, was summoned to D.C., but before anyone could fully probe the incidents, the Air Force hastily convened a press conference to quell the panic, blaming the whole thing on the weather. See, and this is what these devils do. No, but they spotted it on radar. You had credible witnesses. You had, you know, actual pilots that were in the air and saw these things, you know, and they were chasing them, but they could not catch them. Why is that? Because, let me see something. Let me just speed this up a little bit. Just bear with me. Okay, how do I do this? See, on the Mac, I don't know how to do this on the Mac. So, there's a way. See, with the Mac, it doesn't do it the same way. Like on a PC, you type in Control and F, you know, it'll help you search. But on the Mac, it's a lot different. I was just trying to find this one particular one particular thing on here, a particular word, but that's all right. We'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way, or we could do it like this. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. Okay, 13 and 14. All right, so we'll go to Ezekiel chapter 1, verses 13 and 14. And it says, as for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire. They had a glow around them. And like the appearance of lamps, yeah, that's that glow that the angels have. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright. And out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. So ain't no way you're going to catch that, brother. You know, wicked brother Esau, you ain't going to catch that. A flash of lightning. You have a hard time. One time there was a NASA footage, and I'm sure you brothers that have been around for a while know what I'm talking about. It was a NASA footage where Esau thought he was being slick, and there was a chariot that was hovering, and it was just moving. Not sure what speed it was moving on. Then all of a sudden you see a flash of light coming out. But before the flash of light came out, the chariot turned and shot the other way like lightning. You know, it was going one way, and all of a sudden, boom! It just changed trajectory just that quick. And then after that, then you saw a flash of light. Then after that, you saw a laser coming through. And lasers are very fast. I'm pretty sure they move at the speed of light, or the speed of sound, or however they say that, right? But the chariot, even before the devil pushed the button, the chariot was already gone. Then you see the flash. Then you see the laser coming out. How are you gonna deal with that? How are you gonna deal with that type of technology? How in the hell? What are you gonna do to defend yourself against that? Huh? You ain't gonna do shit. Because these things move like a flash of lightning. Let's say, let me see, ran. Let's see what the word for ran is. And I'm gonna do, the word there is ratazah, or ratazah, to run. You know what? Let's see what it says in some of the other NLT. And the living beings darted to and fro like flashes of lightning. How are you gonna deal with that, Esau? How in the hell are you gonna deal with that, man? Are you out of your goddamn mind? You have nothing in your arsenal that comes close to this. And even your own military, dudes, ex-military, they even said that the things that they witnessed from these chariots, their technology is advanced from 100 to 1,000 years, more advanced than anything that you have in your arsenal. So how are you going to deal with that? There's no way you're going to be able to deal with that. And that's why they're kind of putting it out in the news, but they're dismissing it as quackery. Look at this guy. This guy looks like he's horrified. This guy looks like he might be an agent that scoffs at these things, to keep people stupid. This guy looks nervous. This guy looks like like he's up to no good. This guy just looks like he got something stuck up his ass. You ain't gonna be able to deal with this technology, and this technology is set up, which are the chariots of the Lord, which are the angels, to kick you in the ass, Esau, and you so deserve it. Oh my God, you do deserve, you overdue for ass whooping from the heaven, and it's gonna be worse than the Heliodorus ass whooping. Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe. This is not talking about a jelly roll. This ain't talking about a Kaiser roll. This ain't talking about a croissant. This ain't talking about a bagel. This is talking about so-called chariots, or so-called UFOs, which scriptures call chariots. Let's see what it says for flying robe. Flying is iwap, like that's like birds, I believe. To fly, fly about, fly away, to fly, hover. All right. Let's go back. Roll. The word there is magalah, which is probably where you get the word scroll from. Roll, book, writing, yeah. The scrolls. I believe scrolls is magalah, or of roll. Galal is a roll. Magala is of roll or from roll. All right, and it might be a root word to when the prophet Isaiah said he saw the heavens roll together as a scroll. I wouldn't be surprised. Matter of fact, let me just fact check that real quick and then end this in a few. Right here, scroll. I saw the heavens roll together as a scroll. And heavens shall be rolled together, galal, as a scroll. No, that's the word is sapar, which is book. Galal is rolled though, but this is the root word to what we just read. All right, galal. Because remember, it was magala. Right here, magala, which was roll, flying roll. So he saw an actual vehicle in the heavens, for lack of better words. Now, when you type in UFOs and art, you're going to find a lot of artwork, dating from different time periods. And they'll show you vehicles in the heavens with actual people in it, with actual men in it, which are the angels. See, because unlike today, back then they knew what the deal was. Zechariah 5:2, and he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll, the length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Because Esau has control over the whole earth. And these chariots, they're going to be tearing your ass up. The angels are going to be kicking you in the ass. For everyone that stealeth, which is Esau, shall be cut off as on this side according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And that's Esau. That's what they do. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai of hosts, and they shall enter into the house of the thief. Who is the main thief on the planet? Esau. That's why I said that these nations are going to take up a parable against him and saying, how long, are you gonna continue to take stuff that don't belong to you? I'm just merely paraphrasing. And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, because they know the name of the Lord, yet they still swearing falsely. Because they claim to be these God-fearing people. They claim to be the people of the Lord first and foremost. They claim that America, which is supposed to be like this beacon of righteousness, is a Christian, Judeo-believing, Bible-thumping, believing nation. But then when you look at their actions go contrary to what righteousness is. Because they cannot learn righteousness. It says, and it shall remain in the midst of his house. And this is in the midst of your house. All of this stuff you see is in the midst of your house. Let me get rid of that. This is in the midst of your house. Look at this guy. This guy looks nervous as hell. This is in the midst of your house. Look at this. How in the hell you gonna deal with that, Esau? How? Oh boy, see this advertisement. Fair use. This is just for educational purpose. I'm not making any money off of this. This is just for educational purposes only. So look at that. How are you gonna deal with something like that? Here it is, they're trying to lock in they're trying to lock in to shoot it, right? And they can't lock in. The angels are just toying with you, man. They playing you. You can't stop this. You can't touch this. Then they have another one. I wish I knew what the name of that one was. And I will show it to you, where they actually show you these devils shooting a laser at it and missing. And before they even hit the button, the chariot was long gone. So you ain't going to be able to deal with this, man. You have no technology, nothing in your arsenal. You were given the blessing of the sword, yet you can't find anything. You were given the blessing of the sword. You were given these scientists that create all different type of technology. Look at that. It just disappeared. And you have nothing in your arsenal to be able to deal with this technology, to be able to even come close to being a formidable opponent, against these chariots. That's what the scriptures say, that they're going to be scared, but yet there's fight, because the Lord's going to have to put the spirit back in you to fight, So you devils are done. You devils are done. So how are you going to deal with this, Esau? So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.